Boy, it's going to be a crazy week. I can already feel it. Welcome back, everyone. This is going to be a little bit of an after show. We've decided, you know what, it's time that we go live more often because there's so much happening right now. If you saw last episode, it was absolutely crazy. We had to do a 3-hour show. That's double the time we usually do. And we try to keep it under an hour, but we always go over. So I just want to give you guys an update. Even though nothing really happens on the weekend, news cycle-wise, we've had a lot of things happen already, and there's already a few updates that I need to give you guys about what's going on. So without further ado, let me get right into it. Since this is an after show, I'm putting your comments up on the board here so you're able to communicate. We're going to do this a little more interactive because welcome to the after show. Let's get started.
The House Oversight Committee is in the beginning stages of planning a hearing on UFOs. This follows claims from a whistleblower that the U.S. government is keeping secret its studies of an extraterrestrial craft. Air Force veteran and former intelligence official David Grush sat down with investigative journalist Ross Coulthart, who's reporting for News Nation. Coulthart is an award-winning journalist and author who has reported for the Australian version of 60 Minutes, as well as other programs. He has spent years investigating the UFO question. Grush said the military has kept a UFO program secret from the public and from Congress for decades.
When you say crash retrieval, what do you mean?
These are retrieving non-human origin technical vehicles, call it spacecraft if you will. It's probably not the right parlance, but no kidding, non-human, exotic origin vehicles that have either landed or crashed.
We have spacecraft from another species.
We do, yeah.
The revelations have sparked up debate in public view and a slew of articles this week, some calling for full disclosure by the government of any and all information on non-human aircraft. And the interest in UFOs may only intensify as Congress gears up for this hearing, when we could hear from David Grush, this time testifying. Investigative journalist Ross Coulthart, who interviewed Grush, joins us now. And Ross, I got to tell you, the public reaction to this interview has been really strong and deeply divided between those who've long believed the government has such craft and those who believe that those who do believe it are wearing tinfoil hats. Are you surprised?
So that was the previous thing. What was kind of happening? We already know half that stuff already, but this is kind of going into what's new, and especially in this next clip, we're also going to find out some pretty amazing stuff. Impeccable says, you're up late tonight. Yes, it's midnight here on the East Coast, and I thought, you know what? We got to just do it. There's so many other channels covering this stuff, and it's important that I get this stuff out. I have a unique ability to gather many resources from around, and no one else is able to do that because they don't have the abilities that you guys have given me through Patreon to obtain and have eyes on all media outlets at the same time. So let's continue to look and see what's going on here. Check this out.
I'm not surprised in the least, Elizabeth. I think we're all entitled to be sceptical. I think what Mr. Grush wants, though, is for his allegations to be tested. I mean, one of the things I think that people need to remember is he has given evidence under oath to both of the intelligence committees in the Congress, the House Intelligence Committee and the Senate Intelligence Committee, and he's also given evidence under oath to the Inspector General of the intelligence community. And his allegations have been supported by the Inspector General as being both urgent and credible.
When you say his allegations were found, I mean, the IG is taking the complaint, it's urgent and credible. Is it urgent and credible that he suffered some sort of blowback for trying to make this public, or that his actual story itself about extraterrestrial craft is urgent and credible?
Well, what we do know is that in support of Mr. Grush's allegations, a number of people did testify in camera to the Inspector General, and they supported Mr. Grush's allegations. We know that Mr. Grush has given allegedly the locations of where these craft are stored, the names of the people in charge of the program and the gatekeepers allegedly controlling access to that program, both from within the Pentagon and from apparently a private aerospace company.
And you did very carefully vet David Grush before you sat down with him.
Absolutely. Mr. Grush is, I've spoken probably to a dozen people in the intelligence community who've confirmed that David Grush is a person of absolutely impeccable reputation. He left the military in April with high commendations from his commanders, and as was seen by people earlier this week in the debrief, in the article by Leslie Kane and Ralph Blumenthal, there are people who've spoken on the record in support of Mr. Grush's claims, including a bird colonel called Carl Nell, who's basically supported the fact that, quote, we are not alone.
10 seconds.
Extraordinary allegations that I know require require extraordinary evidence, but the simple fact is they need proof.
I got to ask you, 10 seconds. Do you believe him?
I do. I think he's highly credible, and I think his allegations should be investigated.
All right. Ross Coulthart, thanks so much for joining us tonight. Good to have you on the show, and congratulations on the interview. And tune in this Sunday to hear new exclusive revelations about this alleged secret government program as part of an hour-long special, We Are Not Alone, the UFO Whistleblower Speaks.
Yeah, so that's going to be this Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern. I guess the whole entire interview is coming out this Sunday. I'm definitely going to be covering that, and we're going to have it on this channel, talking a lot about the different clips and information that comes out about that, because it's very, very interesting what's happening right now. But if you've been following this channel for the last 2 years that we've been doing this, it shouldn't come as a surprise. We know exactly what's going on here. It's really exciting. And so let's go on to our next clip, because this is where it gets strange. This is where you see interviewers and news anchors kind of squirm a bit, because they've been told all their life, as well as we have, that the government doesn't have this stuff. This is not something that we should be talking about, and now it is. A lot of people, even close friends of mine, will say they haven't produced evidence yet. It's nothing here yet. There's no physical pictures. There's no evidence. The government could just be doing the psyop right now. It's possible. Let's not rule that out. But let's go with the flow. Let's take what's being said, analyze it through the lens of the Bible, and figure it out. I'm just presenting you the evidence. Let's find out what's going on. Here we go.
And now the floodgates are open. Credible sources, including former high-ranking intel officials, have corroborated to our next guest that the U.S. military is in possession of at least a dozen alien spaceships. A dozen. And reportedly, both our government and private aerospace companies are trying to reverse engineer the ships. One source even said, we're trying to fly these ships. Let's bring in Michael Schellenberger, the founder of Public on Substack. So what are these sources telling you? We got 12 ships. What do these suckers look like, Mike?
Doesn't it seem like we're in a dream? What is going on here? Not that I'm dreaming and hoping that this would happen, but it's dreaming like, am I waking up to something that just feels like a sci-fi movie? Am I in a movie? I mean, what are the cameras going to be in the walls waiting for me right now? Because this is just crazy. Watch what this guy says. He's like, all right, here we go. Okay, here we go.
Good to be with you, Jesse. Yeah, I mean, the descriptions range from the classic disc shape to the triangular shape to another person described one of the ships as sort of a modified Huey helicopter or deep sea submarine. These are all people that are sane, highly intelligent, in positions to know, and also cleared at very high levels of security clearance. They were very anxious in speaking with me. I protected their identities, didn't even reveal their genders or the institutions that they work for, but they all felt compelled to speak out in response to this whistleblower who you just quoted, who made those extraordinary claims, and they verified the core claims that indeed the U.S. government does have non-human spacecraft.
And what exactly is the U.S. government doing with this spacecraft?
They say that, and it sounds crazy, but it is what they say, that the U.S. government has been working to reverse engineer these technologies for many decades, and that the high levels of security has made that very difficult. One person described an effort to involve a broader set of scientists and engineers to cut through the stovepipes in this person's language, and that proposal was rejected. It was made through a major aerospace corporation. And, you know, what I would emphasize here is that I think we can't have it both ways. If you think there's nothing there, then you should have no objection to Congress representing the American people and finding out. The claims are that these are real objects and that they exist at military bases and with military contractors. So if they're not there, then nobody should object to people looking, including in unannounced visits. But you can't say that there's nothing there and we shouldn't look. I think that's no longer credible. I mean, as one of the persons said to me, the toothpaste is out of the tube. And I think that with the awareness that this may exist, that's enough of a justification for Congress to look into it.
Absolutely, and they should. Have any of your sources described seeing any extraterrestrials?
Okay, now it's going to get wild. You just wait for this, because the guy's face that's reporting on this, the guy on the right here, he's not going to want to say anything about this at all. But before we go into that, I'm going to leave you on a cliffhanger. Dakota Day says, "Love it, bro. Glad you are doing something unique and talking about this stuff." Thank you, Dakota. I really appreciate you too. I used to know Dakota back in California, and he's a good guy. Got a great thing going on where he's working too. Impeccable. This guy's coming out right now with this revelation. What's the distraction for? Okay, so let's get into that real quick before we talk about this. The distraction. So this is interesting because, to be honest, nobody really understands and knows yet what's happening. But I have a few theories, and I'm gonna present those. Let's take it at face value at first and say the government did have these things, and if they did, we're definitely not from another realm or spacecraft somewhere off in the cosmos. At the very worst, they are a huge deception. They are angelic deceptions. That's what we believe on this channel. They're absolutely made with non-human hands, and that's what they have been claiming. I think we're going to, if these things are coming out and if these things truly are physical, we're going to see this stuff, and it's just going to be just remarkable. People are going to eat this stuff, as Roger Morneau says. Now, what that means is that if this stuff is physical, why is the Defense Department interested in revealing this right now? Now, think backwards with me. Why would that be? The Defense Department's only interested in defense. Right? So if this is a defense problem and they're revealing this, they're allowing a whistleblower, which is not really a whistleblower, is he, if he's got approval to go talk about this stuff from the Defense Department. The Defense Department wants this to happen. So why do they want this to happen? Because of defense. Right now we're going into two major conflicts. China, Russia. Two superpowers. Two, interestingly enough, nuclear superpowers, which all ties into this, and I'll explain that maybe in a second. They want the disassembly of these things and the understanding of the technology behind these things to help them in war. And right now, nobody that has a great mind, or there's not enough great minds in government to disassemble and dissect these things for more technology, as they've probably done in the past to advance America. If these things are real, and we're starting to see these things, and this story is absolutely true, which I believe it probably might be as a big deception, the Defense Department's doing this to get more people on board, more big scientists, and get rid of the stigma so they can start really dissecting these things and get some technology out of them. It's going to gather everyone that really wants to dive into this stuff, probably from where they are sitting at in social media, in SpaceX, and all the big brains that are going in to try to either make you click on a video, because that's where all the big brains are right now. How do we get people to retain on social media? They're in Facebook, they're in Twitter, they're in all these other social technology places in San Jose, or maybe they are in SpaceX or around the globe doing this space stuff right now. Why not get them back in the government like when they first did this during the World Wars? That's what I think. The government's only looking out for itself right now. It wants to remain the superpower, and I think that's what's happening. I could be wrong. This could be just a complete psyop. We're going to find out in the next coming weeks. I believe we're going to find out pretty soon here. I mean, if this guy's going to testify against the Congress and all this stuff, boy, oh boy, we're going to find some stuff quickly. So hold on to your hats. This is something else. Let's continue watching about the aliens. Get ready for this.
Yes, one of them did, but I kept it out of the story because for a variety of reasons, I wanted to make sure that we were able to focus on verifying, including with some of the same sources that David Grush also heard from, just to verify that there is a very large number of people that are in positions to know who say that there are indeed non-human craft. And at this point, I'm not really comfortable talking about some of the other details that I was told.
Okay. And it's not James Carville, it's actual extraterrestrials?
But
Yeah, I mean, it sounds absolutely crazy. And by the way, I should say, I continue to keep an open mind in both directions. I think everybody should. I think what's changed here is that you have a growing number of people who say this has gone on for long enough. We should not be subject to rumors. We are a democracy. We have control of our military and our intelligence agencies. And if they are hiding something from us, we need to find out. We're big boys and girls, and it may be shocking, the information, but it's our right to know that information. It should not be held from us.
All right. Great reporting. Thank you so much, Michael.
Thanks, Jesse.
Interesting, isn't it? What's happening here? Now, there's also been reports that are coming out, and it's all hearsay, so I'm not prepared to actually talk about it on the show because we're gonna. It gets even weirder than this. There's strange stuff that we can't even. That's too strange for strange normal. Is that true? Probably not. But we're gonna tell you everything in the next coming episode here because I want to do a little more research on the chaos that's already ensuing. That's coming up. But we have another clip. Here's an update from. Do you remember the Vegas last episode? If you finished the last episode, at the very end of the last episode, we talked about a Vegas incident that's just going viral all over the news right now. It's about these guys that were outside, and the police saw this. They have body cam footage of this thing, this green glow that flies over the sky, looks like a falling star, and then crashes in someone's backyard. And the guy calls in this 911 and says, there's aliens in my backyard, and they're 9-10 feet tall, 8-9-10 feet. I forget what he said. Well, he apparently made a YouTube account, and he started talking about it, and he wants to reveal more footage from his phone since the news didn't say as much about it. I have yet to find his YouTube account, but it's all over TikTok. So I want to show you guys at least the clipped video that I was able to find. I also want to ask him questions. And so if any of you are able to find his YouTube channel from this video I'm about to show you, please send me a comment. Send me an email. I'll put my email in the comments below. Check this out. Here we go.
Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. This is my first video. I'm here to tell you what happened to me on May 1st, 2023. I'm trying to explain the best of my abilities. This is not a conspiracy theory. I'm not making this story out for clout or fame. I just want to tell you what happened to me and my family. And I know some people are not gonna believe this, but each person is different. So this is what happened to me. Keep in mind, this is midnight and I'm fixing a truck in my backyard. At this point, I'm only with my brother and I hear something fall from the sky. I turn around, the only thing I see is a big light falling from the sky, and moments after, I feel a big impact and a bang, sort of like a big impact fall. And me and my brother looked at each other and we were scared, but but when the impact happened, it was sort of like a shock wave, like an out-of-body experience. So to say, when I tried to look at the object, it was all blurry, not my vision, but only the backyard area. And I hear thousands of footsteps around me, and maybe a couple seconds later, the blurriness was gone. And here's the footage of the body, the police officer's body cam, and here's the object I'm referring to, the light. Video.
Okay, so this is the body cam footage from the police officer. You can see that thing falling down out there.
Here's a ring camera video. You can hear the bang. This is around the neighborhood. So here's the video.
Wow, it's still bright.
So when that happened, the only thing I can see in the backyard is a tall creature, probably around 8-10 feet tall, very thin. So I called my dad. He went to the backyard and he saw the same thing, the same creature I saw. He told me to go inside the house. At this point, we all freaking out, me and my family. And here's the video where we were in the backyard area. You cannot see it too good, but on camera, but it's there. Here's the video.
¡Ay! ¡Regresar! Calmungarela, me canceles var eso. Cáelo, cherro, que chile. Cáelo, cherro.
So if anybody can translate that, I don't know actually what they were saying because I don't speak Spanish, but they were obviously...
Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. This is my...
obviously very concerned about it. And I wish I could see more of what was going on inside there. I'm thinking there's going to be updates to this because this is the strange normal that this channel was made for. This is the strangeness that's going to become a normal part of our society, happening more and more and more that we expected by reading and understanding through the understanding of the Bible. Revelation 16 talks about this. 3 unclean spirits. You're going to see more and more of this crazy stuff happen, and it's going to go to the kings of the world, which are the leadership, and to the whole world. These two groups, which means both big, well-known people, Hollywood, leaders, presidents, kings, are going to have this experience, and the rest of the world. This is the strange new normal that's going to start happening. And so I want to tell everyone that how do you prevent this from affecting you? The Bible tells us the only way to stop spiritualism is to quote Scripture. That's how Christ overcame. We have to know our Bibles. So it'd be now a good time to start memorizing, if you haven't already, some Bible promises. Bible promises is specifically about what we know about the dead, because that's what we've seen happening in the UFO realm, is they have dead relatives that aren't your dead relatives have you do terrible things. They trick you. They're pranksters. Be careful. You need to know the truth about what happens when you die. Friends, this is amazing. This is amazing stuff that's happening right now. Put on all the armor of God. Absolutely. That's what we were saying. This is, let me read some of the comments here. Wow, this feels so surreal. We saw it coming. But it's still shocking to see how quickly things are picking up. We need to keep looking to and seeking the Lord. The deception is heating up. Absolutely. Thank you for that comment. We also put on all the armor of God. Yes, absolutely. Praise God. Now, I'm glad you guys are up late with me. You guys are probably over more west than I am, and so it's late here, but it's Saturday night, and I'll sleep in tomorrow and then continue my renovations this is my hobby. And but I appreciate everything you guys are doing and watching. Michelle Ann says, yes, every morning pray for the armor of God. Absolutely. Keep watching, keep sharing this channel. People need to know the truth about what's happening. This is an important thing, and start looking for new episodes. Keep checking back in the channel, because we're going to start doing this more and more often, having more and more live streams and more after shows, because this thing's heating up so fast. I can't do a 3-hour episode anymore. We got to limit it down to hopefully an hour on the regular flagship show we have on Thursday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern. But thank you all for joining me tonight, and looking forward to talking with you again. Bye-bye.